Texas for the Conference USA Championship game. The Houston Cougars going for their first league title in a decade. They're led by quarterback Kevin Kolb. He's one of the best senior signal callers in the land. In fact, he's the NCAA active leader in passing yards. This season, he's thrown for 25 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. Kolb faces Jeff Bauer's Southern Miss Golden Eagles, who've won 4 Conference USA championships. This year's group is led by true freshman running back Damion Fletcher. He's already over 1,200 yards rushing this season. Southern Miss getting ready to take the field here in Houston to take on the Cougars in the Conference USA Championship game. Glad you're with us. Dave Pash, Trevor Manich is the 2 hottest teams in the conference. Southern Miss winning its last 4. Houston winning its final 5 regular season games. And the Cougars are led by their star quarterback, Kevin Kolb. Trevor, how good is he?
He is outstanding. He's got as good an arm as anybody in the country, but more than that, he knows how to interface with the defense, how to attack the defense. That is not good for Southern Miss because the way they typically attack a quarterback is through their trademark deception and blitzing. Right now, if you think quarterbacks win championships, you got to like Houston.
Yeah, but you can also win with running backs. Now, you need experience. Southern Miss doesn't quite have that. They have a freshman running back that leads them, Damion Fletcher. He's never played in a championship game. Big night for him, a lot of pressure on him. He's a small back, but he's the focal point of the offense, Dave. Question is, can he handle the pressure?
We'll find out tonight in the Conference USA Championship game. It's the only Conference Championship game this year featuring a rematch from the regular season. Southern Miss beat Houston, by the way, during the regular year. The winner tonight goes to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl in Memphis. We are ready for the Conference USA Championship game pitting Southern Miss and Houston, 2 teams that met during the regular season. Back in October, Kevin Kolb threw 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, including the 74-yard bomb to Teron Harvey. But Jeremy Young was the star of the show for Southern Miss. He sealed the win with a touchdown to Sean Nelson with under 4 minutes remaining. It was Houston's 3rd straight loss and the last defeat for the Cougars this season. Jeff Bauer in his 16th year at Southern Miss as the head coach, 13 straight winning seasons, one of only 4 schools, Florida, Michigan, and Virginia Tech the other, to have 13 consecutive winning seasons. And with more on Southern Miss and what took place after the last meeting between these 2 schools, here's Dave Ryan.
All right, Dave, thanks so much. When it comes to Houston quarterback Kevin Kolb, he's been anything but quiet when it comes to talking about this matchup. In fact, he's created a couple of headlines on his own. It goes back to the first matchup, regular season between these 2 teams on October 14th. Afterwards, he was very upset about what he felt was not neutral officiating and said he'd love to play this game again. In fact, a rematch, a league championship game with neutral officials. Well, these are Conference USA officials. Coach Jeff Bauer of Southern Miss, we asked him about those comments. He said it was not bulletin board material, but yeah, our players and coaches know all about what Kevin Kolb said.
We talked with Kolb more in depth yesterday about that, and he said really no big deal. It had nothing to do with Southern Miss. He was just upset with the officials. Here's Brandon Summerall on the kick return, and he's out to the 20-yard line, and that's it. So that is where Southern Miss will start. Over the last 5 games, they have run for at least 200 yards.
And running is the key. You've got George Batiste up front at guard, Robbie D'Angelo at center, Travis Cooley form the middle for Damion Fletcher. He'll be looking to run right straight up the gut of this very fast Houston defense.
And Fletcher is the leading rusher among all true freshman running backs in the country. A guy that signed early with Southern Miss. Fletcher did after attending camp up in Hattiesburg, and initially they thought he might play defensive back. He was not highly recruited at all coming out of high school, and he drops a pass on 1st down and 10. They try to set up the screen. Marquay Love put pressure on the quarterback. Let's take a look at the rest of the Southern Miss starters. They lead the conference in rushing, and they've got a pretty good quarterback who's coming on, Jeremy Young.
But he's also a dual threat. He's a guy that can run. He also can throw it better on the move than he is in the pocket. And he's got that big tight end, his #1 receiver.
And Rod, in their wins, 9 touchdowns, no interceptions for Jeremy Young. 2nd and 10. And on the give, Fletcher powers forward to about the 29 for a gain of about 8 or 9 on the play. Jeremy Young in that win over Houston, a Jackson, Mississippi native, had 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing TD.
But he's been somewhat inconsistent this season. In fact, they've played their backup, Stephen Reeves, on occasion.
But what he brings to the table, though, is not just the ability to pass, but athleticism to be able to run when the play breaks down.
Played for his father in high school. His dad was the offensive coordinator. On third down, Fletcher. And he's got running room. Past midfield. Fletcher still going inside the 40. Finally stopped at the Houston 35. So on third down and 3, they run it, and they get about 45 yards on the ground.
Hey, Trevor, you like this play. It's all counter Trey. Look at him pull the lineman from right to left, and you get Fletcher in behind him, and he's got a huge hole.
A huge hole. I think he's even surprised at this point. He's like, well, where's the defense? Somebody should be hitting me by now.
36-yard rush for Damion Fletcher, who's closing in on 1,300 yards for the season. He is the first 1,000-yard back at Southern Miss since Derek Nix back in 2002. He, by the way, is now the running backs coach. Pass out on the flat to Josh Barnes on first down to the 32 for about 3 yards. Wade Cole made the tackle. And Cole, one of 3 key seniors on that Houston defense.
Well, you have to be strong up the middle, and if they have any chance of stopping this running attack, Cole, the linebacker, has to be great on the edge. They've got to get Gully, the safety. He's got to get involved. And Marquay Love is really a big, strong guy inside, their best defensive lineman.
Well, he's a third-team Conference USA. He told us in our meetings yesterday he should have been a first-team Conference USA, and he wants to show that tonight.
Yeah, he's mad.
In Southern Miss. He's not the only guy that's mad about being left off first-team Conference USA. More on that coming up. Here's Young to the air on second down, and he dumps it off. And pushed out of bounds on the far side is Ed Morgan. So that's a first down for Southern Miss inside the 20-yard line.
You know, Trevor, this is a good start for this offense. It's an offense that likes to run the ball, and then they like a lot of crossing routes. They don't really throw the ball down the field that much.
Well, they don't want to force Jeremy Young to throw the ball down the field much, because the strength of this offense is Fletcher running, Young running, and only third then is Young passing.
First down and 10 at the 19-yard line. Swings to the bottom of your screen. They go out of a 2 tight end formation. Running play again, Fletcher to the outside, and this time he's taken down at the 18-yard line by Will Gully. Gully told us in meetings yesterday that he doesn't think Fletcher likes contact. Gully told us that he himself likes to dish it out.
Gully does. Gully, we've seen on film, lay some terrific hits on running backs, and you just wonder how on earth they pop up. Gully relishes the contact.
Yeah, big safety, but if he keeps nosing around that line of scrimmage, Southern Miss is going to try and get the ball in behind him. That's what you do when those safeties get nosy and sneak up.
Gully's accounted for 8 turnovers this year. First team All-Conference USA. Second down and 8, the toss to Fletcher to the outside. And Fletcher gets to the 11, about 6 yards on that carry. Kenneth Fontenette on the stop. It'll bring up third down and short.
Well, Rod, you talked about Gully. They started in a pass-looking shell. Gully started deep, but then he comes up here. And then he's at the point of attack. Now, you can see right here, Bobby Weekley gets a good block on him, but they're trying to get him up around the line.
Fans on their feet here in Houston for the 8th play of this opening drive for Southern Miss. Third down and 2. Fletcher down at the 13. He lost 2 on the play. Marquay Love looking like a first-team All-Conference performer there.
Oh, he wasn't getting any love from the coaches as they voted him on the 3rd team. And he wasn't showing any love yesterday. He was mad about it. He's like, I am going to prove tonight that I am a first-team player. Watch him in the middle right there. Watch him destroy the double team. And he gets right through and nails it back. You can't do it any better than that.
Well, you've got a guy who's 6 feet tall, 310, who has the explosion to be able to dunk a basketball. Hard to block him one-on-one.
30-yard attempt by the Southern Miss all-time leading scorer, Darren McCaleb. And the Golden Eagles are on the board. So a 36-yard run by Damion Fletcher sets up a field goal by Darren McCaleb. 3-0 Southern Miss early in the opening quarter of the Conference USA title game. 9-play, 66-yard drive for Southern Miss. Set up a McCaleb field goal. Now barefoot to kick it off. How about that for a name for a kicker? Short kick be taken by Roshan Pope. Hit at the 15 and up to about the 20-yard line. Penalty flag on the play.
We mentioned Aldridge. You look again here at what he's done over the last 5 games during this winning streak for Houston. They've been more conservative, but Art Briles indicated to us yesterday that he may be spinning it down the field a little bit more today. Here's Vincent Marshall. This is now 49 straight games in which he has caught a pass. He's number 2 among active players in college football with catches and receptions. But here are 2 guys that we're going to feature as our impact players, the 2 running backs, Aldridge and Battle.
Well, in the 5-game winning streak, the running yardage is way more than the passing yardage. So you think Kevin Kolb, but the running game is what's really carried them late.
Yeah, Kolb in the last 3 games averaging less than 200 yards per game. This is a guy that's thrown for 3,100 yards this year. Aldridge moved from wide receiver to running back this year. He's a guy they like to get out in the passing game, but has shown that he can run it too. He's about $170. Battle's about 250, so it's a nice combination.
A little thunder and lightning, huh?
Some movement on the offensive line before the snap. Dead ball foul. Going to be a false start on Houston.
False start. Number 73. Dolphins. 5-yard penalty.
Houston lineup. We mentioned during this 5-game winning streak they've been running the ball well. How about 200+ yards rushing the last 5 games? But still, it comes down to Kolb and his receiver.
Don't be deceived by the rushing. They can throw the ball, and they like to get these guys in space. Avery and Marshall are incredibly fast, and they're small, quick. You get them in space, you got problems trying to tackle them one-on-one.
As on the running play, Battle gets the first down to the 44. After that 11-yard carry by Battle, they go back to him, and he bangs off one man down to 40. Gain of 4 on the play. Abanaconda made the stop for Southern Miss. Take a look at the balance by Houston this season in the first 7 games. They're more of a passing attack. Got a little bit more conservative the last 5 games, and passing yards went down, but the rushing yards went up. But they've been taking shots down the field so far in this game.
Well, it's a little bit harder to run against the Southern Miss defense and a little bit easier to throw the ball against them.
This is a lateral thrown behind the line to Pope. Down to 37 for about 3 yards. Tackled by Levance Richmond. 3rd down coming up.
Well, we see how the Houston running game has outpaced the passing game in the last 5 games. Coincidentally, Houston's defense performed better as well. And right now, Houston, they hand off the first 2 plays of this drive. Then they have a short possession pass. Their defense is on the sideline resting, and they will need that rest in order to go up against this pounding Southern Miss running game later in the game.
Battle will get the handoff as they run it on 3rd down and short. Perhaps thinking 4-down territory here as he comes up a little bit short of the marker. It'll bring up 4th down. Levance Richmond on the tackle.
That's exactly what they were thinking. They should have been thinking 4-down territory, you know, given where they are on the field, and you don't really want to kick it here if you don't have to, and they go right at it. I like it.
Quick handoff to Battle. Spins forward and appears to have the first down. McGrath had him wrapped up, and Battle, who's about 245, just spun out of his arms and got enough for the Houston first down.
Battle has lost yards on carries very few times in his career. He gets positive yards by falling forward. There's an extra 5 or 6 feet every time.
First down at the 22-yard line. Kolb hits Marshall in the flat. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Houston! Seventh receiving touchdown for Vincent Marshall this season. 26th of the year for Kevin Kolb.
Well, we've talked about the matchups. All they do is go trips. They put Marshall out there. He uses his speed. In a matchup, they have good blocking in front of that screen. You see Harvey, number 1, get a good block out there. Pretty easy.
Extra point is good by Ben Bell, and they have officially ruled that a running play. That was a lateral thrown behind the line of scrimmage. So Marshall with a rushing touchdown. That's his first of the season. And Houston takes the lead late here in the first quarter. Summerall on the return doesn't even get to the 20-yard line. Pilot with the tackle on special teams. Our BCS Bowl projections. We talked about Boise State against likely Oklahoma or Nebraska. BCS national title game if USC wins tomorrow. Everybody thinks Ohio State, USC. The governor in Louisiana is pushing for LSU and Michigan in the Rose Bowl. And
that doesn't have to. He's got 38,000 tickets sold or something now if they want to go there.
Now look at that Fiesta Bowl. Boise State against the Big 12 champion. We'll find out how good Boise is.
We talked about Rutgers. If it beats West Virginia, will play in a BCS game representing the Big East. If West Virginia should beat Rutgers, and if Louisville beats Connecticut, that game's on ESPN at noon tomorrow. Louisville will go to a BCS game as Fletcher gets the first down, picking up about 13 off the right edge. Ernest Miller with the tackle. And you saw Notre Dame up there as part of our bowl projection. They are the subject of our Friday night debate. That's coming up later, whether Notre Dame should get a BCS bowl bid. We're not going to touch that one now, but if USC wins tomorrow, guys, are they definitely in the BCS title game against Ohio State?
Yeah, that's a lot. They beat UCLA. They face Ohio State.
Trev?
Yep.
That ends that debate. That's the shortest debate we've had all year. What's happened to you guys over the last few weeks?
Didn't have the instigator.
First down to the 32 on the draw. Fletcher gets about 4 or 5.
When you talk about Rutgers and their big shot, they've got to win at West Virginia in order to go to a BCS Bowl as the Big East champion. The thing is, Rutgers defense actually matches up well against that fast West Virginia offense. Rutgers defense can run. And so don't think that just because they're playing in Morgantown, Rutgers doesn't have a shot.
Well, I agree with you in that. I want to go back to your point about no debate on the USC thing, but we'll watch this play first.
All right, 2nd and 6 from the Southern Miss 36-yard line. Tight end Sean Nelson's been quiet. Eddie Young will look for him here. Instead, he's going downfield, and there he is. Sean Nelson right on cue inside the 40, inside the 30, and finally banged out a play around the 20-yard line. Young has not even looked at Sean Nelson tonight, and maybe Houston fell asleep defensively on that ball fake.
Well, they just roll him out, but you'll see that they'll have him coming this way. They do a nice job of letting him sneak inside release, and just drag across the defense.
Well, that is not the guy you want to lose track of, though. Nobody knew what he was. He is their leading receiver and really the favorite target of Allman in any situation for Allman. That was the former quarterback, Young.
Dustin Allman, who once was ahead of Jeremy Young. Sean Nelson, MVP of the New Orleans Bowl a year ago. Young finds Ed Morgan down to the 9-yard line. Close to another first down. Ernest Miller on the tackle. Guys, how about Jeremy Young? He's just spinning it downfield right now for Southern Miss. Very efficient. We talked about him in those wins. 9 TDs, no picks, and Southern Miss's 8 wins this year.
Well, the more we watched him on tape, the more it became clear to me that he throws better on the move. Doesn't matter if it's left or right. But I just don't think he's as comfortable when he's just in the pocket. But on the move, man, he's pretty accurate.
And there are 4 losses, only 2 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Pretty good night so far. 4 of 6, 72 yards, 1st and goal. Southern Miss down here earlier had to settle for a field goal. Young on the quarterback keeper. And Young hit the 1-second effort. Touchdown, Southern Miss. 4th rushing touchdown of the year for Jeremy Young.
This is one of the reasons Young's passing has improved. His legs. This opens up the passing game for him. You see the 2nd effort, but keep in mind that in the middle of the season, Young was struggled with a turf toe. He couldn't run like this, and the team struggled because of it. Now that he can run like this, everything opens up.
9-yard quarterback draw for a touchdown. McCaleb with the extra point. So after Houston gets a rushing touchdown, Southern Miss bounces right back in about 2 minutes. Jeremy Young throwing it and using his feet. We'll put the Golden Eagles back on top in the Conference USA title game. It'll be Kevin Kolb's turn next. Both back to receive for Houston. Barefoot to boot it away from the 35. Hope at the 5-yard line. Long way to go. Barely past the 10. Ball out. And Southern Miss recovers at the 15-yard line. Now a penalty flag comes in late. Eddie Hicks recovers for Southern Miss. They did not rule him down. Bradshaw popped it out. Hicks recovered. The officials are having a conference. If they rule, no, they don't rule him down. It's Southern Miss ball.
Well, every play is reviewed. The replay officials are in their booth. They've been looking at this play, and they'll be looking to see if he was down. Oh, he was down. It looked like that knee was down, and the ball came out afterwards.
Yeah, he's down.
Knee down, ball out.
Yeah,
yep.
There. And now the ball's out when he hits the ground. It's not even straight.
Have a personal foul. Number 7 of the kicking team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
So a personal foul on Houston, set on the kicking team, but that was on pilot of Houston. Clock running on the change of possession, but Cobb will snap it and throw it out of his end zone to Donnie Avery. Drilled immediately by Caleb Hendricks. Gain of about 4 in the play. That'll be the final play of the opening quarter. An exciting first frame here in the Conference USA Championship game. A rushing touchdown by Vincent Marshall. Jeremy Young with a rushing TD. And a field goal by McCaleb. Southern Miss by 3. Start of the second quarter for the Conference USA Championship presented by Aero Postal. Southern Miss leading Houston 10-7. Houston fumbles the kickoff, recovered by Southern Miss, ruled on the field as a fumble, but then overturned by the replay crew. Clearly, the knee was down of Roshan Pope, so quarterback Kevin Kolb back on the field as Houston has the ball at its 12-yard line. Second down and 5. Battle gets the call. Powers into the secondary to the 19-yard line. 7 yards and a Houston first down. Richmond on the tackle. Let's look at our game track brought to you by Aero Postal.
That's been about big plays in the running game. Fletcher got it started early. He's got 73 yards already. And then you also have what looks like a pass, but is in fact a run. Marshall, a 22-yard touchdown run.
A pass play to Marshall is again Houston quickly to the line, snapping the ball. A gain of about 13 and another Houston first down.
Well, Houston opened this game with a normal rhythm offensively. Now Art Briles has his guys right up at the line. They're not even bothering to do that little 3-yard huddle. They're at the ball.
First down at the 31-yard line. Cobb backing off and getting the play from the sideline. Houston trailing today. They've trailed in 7 of their 9 wins this year, so this nothing new being behind in a ball game. Cobb, great catch by Marshall to midfield, and another Houston first down. Gain of 20. James Denley with a tackle downfield.
Trevor, they just overload a side with all those receivers, create space for a guy like Marshall.
But here's why it worked. It was an audible. Now you got 5 guys wide. Why does Cobb know that Marshall's going to be open here? Because they came right to the line. The defense declared how it was going to line up. Then they backed up.
And again, Cobb backs off to take the audible from the sideline. You guys like this?
Yeah, there's 21 seconds still on the play clock. Lots of time to do this.
And Briles is the one who's calling the plays after he sees the lineup.
Marshall wide open in the slot, trying to get to the outside. Stumbles to the 31. 8-yard pickup. Ladarius Webb made the tackle for Southern Miss.
Now here's why they do this. They run up to the line of scrimmage. The defense is forced to disperse and to show exactly how they're going to line up. Now there's no huddle. Now there's a space there. So what happens is they attack that space because they were able to see it pre-snap.
Get onto the field, checking with Dave Ryan.
All right, Dave, thanks a lot. One thing we have in this ball game is great atmosphere. Now, these two teams are not playing for a BCS bid. They're not playing for the national championship. They're playing to win the Conference USA championship game. Electric atmosphere with the fans and both teams. What I've seen on the sideline days so far, these teams really want this game.
It's a full house here at Robertson Stadium. On the screen, Bobble and a catch by Pope inside the 15-yard line. Makes a defender miss. Pope inside the 10 and hammered at the 6-yard line by Brandon Summerall, but it's a Houston first down inside the 10-yard line.
They just ran everybody off deep and just dropped the ball off to Pope. And Pope, a former defensive back but high school option quarterback, knows what to do with the ball.
He just moved to offense this season. First down and goal. Battle. Touchdown, Houston! 13th rushing touchdown for Jackie Battle this season. Jackie Battle, the senior from nearby Humboldt, Texas, with a touchdown. They fumbled the snap. And they're not going to get any points. Jordan Brown, the holder, took off with it as he couldn't handle the snap. And gets tackled to the 5-yard line. So it's 13-10. Houston leading Southern Miss after the Battle TD. Last week at Louisiana Tech, Trevor and Rod did the game from the field. This week they're on the moon calling the game. Guys, how's it going up there? How's your telestrator working up there, fellas?
Different perspective.
Back here at the Conference USA Championship presented by Aeropostal. Houston leading 13-10 after they botched the point after. Jordan Brown could not handle the snap from Norby Juice, the long snapper.
The snap was a bit wobbly, hard to handle.
93-yard drive, matching the longest of the year for Houston. Jackie Battle's 13th rushing touchdown this season. Ed Morgan with a kick return at the 10. Tripped up at the 15. Great play by Matt Nicholson on special teams. Chenove cuts back inside of the 33. Got about 4 yards on that carry. Rodney Rideau made the tackle for Houston. With more on Conrad Chenove, here's Dave Ryan. All right, we'll get to Dave here in a moment. Chenove opened the year as the 4th string tailback for Southern Miss. Stays in the game here on 2nd down and 7. They go with a trip set to the bottom of your string. Young will hand it off again. Chenove into the secondary, gets leveled at the 40-yard line by Will Gully. But he does get the first down. Dave Ryan, Chenove doing pretty well so far.
Yeah, it looks pretty good here, no doubt about it, Dave. He's a former walk-on, as Trevor mentioned, who was not even in the featured running back for his high school team in Covington, Louisiana. Guys, he's a star javelin thrower on the Southern Miss track and field team. Had not even registered a carry before this season. And he's the backup to Damion Fletcher now because of all the attrition. Guys quitting left and right on Jeff Bauer from the running back position.
At 14 yards, Dave, already on 3 carries. Picks up the first down there. Fletcher getting a breather. First down for Southern Miss at its 40-yard line. This time a fake to Chenove. And Young looking for Nelson. Diving catch inside the 40 for a first down. Second catch today for freshman All-American last year, Sean Nelson.
Well, we talked about decisiveness, and that's what the coaches want from Young. It was Will Gully, the great free safety, that he threw it right past that time. Number 18 in red. This ball's going to go right by Gully, and to attack Gully for Young with his arm, that shows a lot of audacity.
Jeremy Young, again, a guy that almost was replaced mid-season. Split time with Stephen Reeves as the season went along, has been terrific tonight. Quarterback draw. Loses 2 on the play. L.C. Kirkpatrick and Billy Hartford. I'll make that L. Ash a team up to make the tackle for Houston.
Yeah, well, Kirkpatrick was the first one in there to get his hands on Young and kind of stop the play. But Ash was the one who finished him off.
Ash, a transfer from Tennessee, who's been a very good rotation guy for this Houston defense. And the winner of this game will go to the Liberty Bowl. Speculation is that South Carolina will likely be the matchup in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl for the Conference USA champ. The loser of this game to the GMAC Bowl on January 7th against Ohio. Here's Chenot getting to the outside. Chenot down inside the 30-yard line. Another good run for junior Conrad Chenot. Moved the sticks for the Golden Eagles again. Ryan McKee, the right tackle, with a nice block.
Well, he got that block on El Ash, the transfer from Tennessee, and he just sustained it. And Ash wasn't able to keep up with it. Now, to the top of your screen, number 72 red, and number 66, that's McKee. He gets a little bit of penetration, Ash does, but McKee keeps on the block, never quits on the block, and gets a pancake.
Over 1,300 yards for the season. From the 14-yard line of Houston, Young play action. Bobby Weekley couldn't handle the pass. Incomplete.
You know, with all that hard work that Chenot has done on this drive, don't you sort of feel like he ought to be on the field here to see if they can finish it off with him?
You know, I think he deserves it. I think he deserves it. But he's the kind of guy that isn't thinking that way at all.
Of course not.
If this is a game against, Louisiana Lafayette, I'm just throwing that out there for a name, a team that beat Houston, by the way, earlier in the season, yeah, maybe you throw them out there. This is a championship game. You get your best players on the field.
Did you just throw Louisiana Lafayette under the bus?
First team that came to mind. Fletcher's fresh, you put him in the game. He's the right guy to be in the game right now. Barnes dropped it. That's 2 straight drops by Southern Miss players. It'll bring up 3rd down and 10. And that was pretty darn close to a fumble, but it's ruled incomplete down on the field.
Well, against Tulsa, Southern Miss receivers dropped about a dozen catchable balls. This is not a problem they can afford to have resurface in the championship game.
Very close to being a lateral, but ruled incomplete on the field.
I still think if you're thinking about getting into the end zone, Nelson is your guy down here. He's a mismatch problem.
3rd down and 10. At the Houston 14-yard line, Houston is unable to review that. They cannot challenge that play because it was ruled incomplete. The defense can't challenge that. Young just throws it away. Getting pressure. Tried to hit Sean Nelson, and it's incomplete. Wade Cole put pressure on the quarterback.
And Will Gully, their outstanding safety for Houston, had his eyes on Young the entire time. Now, here's Young, number 1, coming out. And there's pressure, but there's also Gully.
There you see Nelson running the delay route, but because of the pressure, didn't do him any good to run a delay. Gully was all over it, as you mentioned.
There's a penalty flag on the play.
Holding. Defense, number 21. Half distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
So instead of being 4th down, Brandon Brinkley was shaken up earlier in this series, comes back into the game. And a costly Houston penalty giving Southern Miss the automatic first down.
Boy, that's like putting points on the board almost. Another shot at it for Southern Miss.
So it's 1st and goal at the 7.
They'd like to run the draw play out of this set.
Good call, Rod Gilmore, but Fletcher stumbles and falls back to the line of scrimmage. Cody Pree missed a couple of games earlier in the season with a knee injury. Made the play defensively for Houston.
Southern Miss now down 3, coming down to halftime. Wants to play this conservatively. They want to make sure they come away with this field goal at least, because then they're the ones that could go into halftime with the momentum and with all the good things happening on their side.
They actually lost a yard of the play. 2nd and goal at the 8. Young going to run the option. And he's going to keep. Gets hammered at the 8-yard line by Will Gully. All 220 pounds of him into quarterback Jeremy Young. 3rd down and goal.
Trevor, what do we say about the Houston speed? You can't run wide on these guys like this.
Very difficult. Gully, number 18 on the right of your screen, starts not only in the middle of the field, but way deep, and he has the range to get up to the line of scrimmage to make that hit.
He's a guy that the NFL scouts will take a long look at. 6'3.5", 220 pounds, excellent speed. Missed last year with a knee injury, but he's had a terrific senior season for Houston. 16th play of this drive, 3rd and goal at the 8. Young with time. Dumping it off. Breaking tackles and scoring. Chris Johnson. Great second effort. Touchdown, Southern Miss. Conrad Chenot helps Southern Miss on the drive. He's on the sideline for the touchdown, but he's certainly happy for his teammates who take the lead late here in the second quarter. An 8-yard touchdown pass on 3rd down and goal after the defensive holding, which gave the automatic first down to Southern Miss. And McCaleb on for the PAT after the Houston timeout. Each team with 1 timeout remaining. And it's 17-13 Southern Miss. And a little bit of a struggle for Conference USA Player of the Year Kevin Kolb. Can he get it going next for Houston? Back at the University of Houston, a cold, windy night here in Houston, Texas at Robertson Stadium. The Conference USA Championship presented by Aeropostale. Southern Miss with a 16-play touchdown drive. We saw a lot of Southern Miss fans tailgating before the game. It's about a 7-hour drive from Hattiesburg, Mississippi down to Houston.
459.9 miles. They tracked that one all the way. We saw, what, several RVs in the parking lot coming in.
Kick taken to the 2-yard line by Vincent Marshall. Marshall past the 35 and up to the 42-yard line. Great return by Vincent Marshall. The kicker, Britt Barefoot, made the tackle downfield along with Eddie Willingham. All right, Scott, speaking of Conference Players of the Year, here's the Conference USA Player of the Year, Kevin Kolb, finding an open man, Donnie Avery, to midfield. Houston does have 1 timeout remaining. Gain of about 8 on the play. Tackled by Abanaconda for Southern Miss. Houston gets lined up, and then Kolb backs up in shotgun. Nice catch by Marshall. Breaks a tackle. The clock will stop to move the chains on the first down. Levance Richmond with a tackle. Jasper Falk missed the tackle on Marshall and gave him another 15 yards.
Well, Southern Miss tipped the blitz right away. Kolb saw it, and very smart. He threw where the blitz came from. And that's usually where you're going to find the weakness when you're passing, because it's hard to cover up for where the blitz comes from.
Kolb, number 1 in the country among active quarterbacks in passing yards. A backward pass, and then Marshall throws, and it's caught inside the 10-yard line by Jerron Harvey.
This is a smart throw by Marshall. He knows that Harvey is tall. He's got long arms. He throws it up and away towards the sideline. So only Harvey could get it. That's a guy who knows the capability of his fellow receiver.
And Hendricks played it well. He just wasn't big enough to handle Harvey.
First and goal. Again, Houston has 1 timeout remaining. Kolb rolling out. Caught at the 4-yard line, and a fumble, and it's picked up by a Cougar, and they actually get a couple of additional yards. It was picked up by Roy Otis after the catch by Hafner. And now Houston calls its final timeout.
And you can say this is lucky, but hustling to be in the right place. Otis was there to save a potential scoring drive for Houston. And speaking of scoring, look at that score. I mean, how big does that missed PAT look for Houston right now? That could hurt them later in this ballgame.
No timeouts remaining for Houston. 2nd down and goal.
Mismatch down at the bottom of the screen. 6'5" Harvey against 5'10" Hendricks.
Kolb throwing the fade for Harvey. Incomplete. Jasper Falk covering Jerron Harvey. And it's 3rd down and goal.
Yeah, Falk is also 5'10", and he does a nice job backing off and holds his position, almost like basketball. He knows exactly where Harvey is, puts him on his backside, and forces Harvey to go around him.
Well, he knows that Harvey wants to run a fade. He knows that that ball's supposed to be caught in the corner of the end zone. So he blocked it off.
That's a senior for you.
Houston looking for its first third down conversion. Battle gets the call. He's not going to get in. And it's fourth down. Houston has to go. They can't spike it. They don't have any timeouts left. That was a dangerous call there. And now they got to get up.
Wow, they're not going to get this off.
Right now,
they want a flag.
Wow.
Yeah, he wants a flag because they couldn't get him up, let him up.
They did not get the snap. No penalty flag on Southern Miss for a delay of game. And now there are some fans throwing things out of the field of the end zone.
In the second quarter.
But you know, you shouldn't even be in that position.
A risky call by Art Briles to run the ball on third down with no timeouts. If Battle doesn't get in, you don't have enough time to get up there and hike the ball, and you can't spike it.
Now, you can't expect someone to bail you out in that situation. You know you have no timeouts. You have to throw the ball and take your shot. If you run it, you surprise them, you get 6, great. If you don't get it, that's your problem.
Let's go down to the field and check in with Dave Ryan, who's with Jeff Bauer, the Southern Miss coach.
All right, Coach, last moments of the game. In the first half here, Houston trying to get off a play. How did you see it from the sideline?
Right then, they got to get up and go. You know, I mean, the clock was on our side. They didn't have any timeouts left. I think a good job by our guys.
There's a lot of energy in this building. How does that affect your team, that play, and your score so late at the end of the half?
Well, that was a key right there. If we'd have let them in the end zone right then after getting that last touchdown, you know, giving up some big plays, that was real key, being able to make that stop.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Thank you.
Dave, if anybody knows what it takes to win on the road, it is Jeff Bauer. Almost 60% of the games played during Bauer's era at Southern Miss have been on the road, including this game tonight, even though it's a championship game.
Well, here's that last play. You see Battle trying to get in, and a nice gang tackle, everybody getting in there. Then they don't let Battle up. And they can't get up and stop the clock. They can't run another play. That was risky. Trevor, you have to come away with points down here.
You do, but look what Southern Miss's defensive players did. They had about 5 guys on Battle. A couple of them got up. The others stayed down. Then a couple others got up, and they still held him down. So it wasn't like they all laid on him. It looked like they were trying to get up.
So, at halftime, Southern Miss's lead is 4 over Houston as we go back to the studio and Scott Reese. Back in Houston, Texas for the second half of the Conference USA Championship game. Southern Miss kicking off. Vincent Marshall will take it out 5 yards deep. Marshall has great speed and gets to the edge. Turns upfield and then gets dragged down around the 27-yard line by Ivory Bradshaw. Let's check in with Dave Ryan down on the field.
All right, Dave, thanks a lot. Talked with Art Briles, the Houston head coach, about the very end of the half. You guys just replayed a moment ago. He said, sure, I'm very upset our team couldn't get up and have that one more play to try to run it in and score, at least get a field goal off. He said he told his team we can't worry about that now. We have to worry about looking forward and trying to score and convert on opportunities like that one at the end of the half. Guys, I talked with Barry Anderson, also the referee for the game. He said the officials could have stopped play there at the end had they felt Southern Miss deliberately did lay on the players for Houston. In their judgment, they did not.
Okay, Dave, Jackie Battle on the carry, picks up a couple of yards there in first down.
Well, I think that judgment is correct, and if you heard Mark May at halftime, he pointed out that there were players from Southern Miss pulling other Southern Miss players off. You can't control as a coach whether you're going to have 6 or 8 guys in a pileup, and that's the risk you take when you run that ball.
Kevin Kolb in shotgun here on second down. Kolb going deep. He had an underthrow and 2 overthrows. This one's on the money, but it's incomplete. Avery can't come up with it. And it's third down and 9.
Would have been a great catch. And Avery's made great catches like this. He just shows you his speed. A track man just blows by the corner out there, Jasper Falk, and can't come up with this as he leaves his feet. Would have been a fantastic catch. One that Kolb is used to seeing him come up with.
And what a fantastic throw by Kolb. Avery was running all out. Kolb has great familiarity with him and put it in the exact spot so that at the extension of his speed, the ball hit him in the hands.
Had 2 overthrows in the first half and an underthrow, but that one was there. Third down play. Kolb stepping up. Throws across his body to Harvey for the first down, and Harvey breaks tackles into Southern Miss territory to the 49. Ladarius Webb on the stop. That was an NFL-type play at quarterback there by Kevin Kolb.
We'll have to see what may be their halftime adjustment. Houston played it pretty close to the vest in that first half. They didn't really take too many shots downfield. They took a few, but all of a sudden they come out in this third quarter slinging the ball all over the place.
And I think they'll continue. As we said at the beginning of the ball game, they've run it well the last 5 weeks, but you just can't make a living running the football at Southern Miss.
The winner of this game will get invited to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl to take on a team from the SEC. Speculation is it'll be South Carolina, as that pass goes through the hands of Harvey, incomplete. Well, Houston has trailed in 7 of its 9 wins this season, so this really is not unfamiliar territory. And that UTEP game, they were on the heels of a 3-game losing streak. They were down by 7 at halftime. Kolb went wild in the second half, and that turned around Houston's season. The defense really stepped it up in that game, too. Well, they gave up 17 first-half points to Southern Miss. Inside running play on second down at Pope. He gets a couple of yards. So it'll bring him third down.
Well, they're getting the matchups that they want. They're getting Avery locked on a corner, one-on-one. They're sometimes getting Marshall locked on a safety. They just haven't made the big plays when they've had them there.
Kolb on a keeper. Great ball fake, and Kolb's going to score. Touchdown, Houston. A 46-yard rushing touchdown. Kolb held onto it about as long as he possibly could, kept it, and fooled everybody downfield for a TD. 4th rushing score this year for the senior Conference USA Player of the Year. And they botched a point after attempt in the first half. This time the holder, Jordan Brown, gets it down, and Bell's point after is good. Houston retakes the lead 20-17 on Kolb's 46-yard scamper, a career-long run for the senior quarterback. We've had a turnover-free game so far. Our 5th lead change of the game. Kevin Kolb, a 46-yard rushing touchdown. And Houston retakes the lead by 3.
Let's go back to the touchdown option. They had not shown this much of the game. Right there, see what happens? Look at all the defenders. They are not playing assignment football. They're not responsible for the pitch or the quarterback. They all go to the dive man, and Kolb just keeps it and takes it into the end zone.
And who is wearing Kevin Kolb's uniform? I mean, what kind of speed? He outran both starting quarterbacks to the end zone.
Short kickoff. Going to be taken by Morgan at the 15. Looking to get to the outside. Up to the 30-yard line. That's where Southern Miss will take over. Play action for Young. Going deep for Nelson. Oh, he dropped it inside the 10. Ernest Miller may have distracted him. The free safety jumped in front of him, and Nelson couldn't handle the pass.
What a play by number 5, Ernest Miller. 2 other starting strong safeties were injured, and that's why Miller's in this game, going against one of the better pass-catching tight ends in the nation. One thing that they did not want to do, Houston, was leave any safety man-for-man on Sean Nelson. Southern Miss got what they wanted, and what a play made by Ernest Miller.
Here's Fletcher. Gets leveled by Gully again at the 45-yard line. Gully told us yesterday he loves contact, and he doesn't think Fletcher likes it so much.
You don't even have to guess who the tackle is. When you see a hit like that, you know it's Gully.
Well, yeah, most of the time you have a hit, and both the tackler and the ball carrier kind of react evenly. When Gully gets a run up and hits you like that, it is not equally distributed, the blow. Gully runs through you.
3rd down and 3. Young to the air. Pressure coming, and Young throws it away. L. Ash, a transfer from Tennessee, got in the face of Young. And he threw it in the dirt. 4th down.
El Ash, 6'5", 295, number 72. Jumps right over the block of Fletcher, and Fletcher is just a little guy, 175 pounds. He did not want to stay up against El Ash, and El Ash anticipated the cut block and showed a real great ability to leap.
Barefoot will punt it away on 4th down and 3. Vincent Marshall back at the Houston 10. It's kicked away from Marshall, and he's hit immediately at the 15-yard line. No penalty flag, no interference called on Ladarius Webb on the catch by the punt return man. 1 o'clock on ABC. It's the ACC title game. Wake Forest and Georgia Tech. Wake looking for its first ACC championship since 1970. You think they're going to get it, guys? Think Wake is going to win that game?
Ooh, I don't know. I think Georgia Tech will bounce back after that loss to Georgia.
Marshall on the catch. Can't get away from Gerald McGrath. Picks up about 9 on the play.
But you know what I like about Wake Forest is that head coach Jim Grove has got that team playing old-fashioned football. They lost their top quarterback, their top 2 running backs early in the year. So the offense hunkered down and played mistake-free ball. They're 6th in the nation in turnover margin, 6th best. And the defense is carrying them to this point.
What a job Grove did coaching Wake Forest this year. Of course, you get to see one of the best players in all of college football, and the potential #1 draft pick in the NFL. Georgia Tech wide receiver Calvin Johnson in that game tomorrow. Running play, Allridge to about the 29-yard line. Got 5 yards on 1st down. Abanaconda made the tackle.
You talk about great coaching jobs this season. Everybody talks about Greg Schiano, but I think Jim Grove gets overlooked in what he did this year. 10-2, most wins in school history. First team in ACC history with a 6-0 road record. He was the ACC Coach of the Year. I mean, his coaching job, Greg Schiano's, even Bob Stoops at Oklahoma, 3 of the best coaching jobs you'll see.
How about Bielema at Wisconsin going 11-1, taking over for Barry Alvarez. Allridge getting the pass from Cobb, and then just lowers his helmet and drives into Levance Richmond, very close to the 1st down marker on a 2nd down and 6 play.
Talk about those really good coaching jobs. We just take Pete Carroll for granted out of USC. They just keep rolling. That team could have gone in the tank after that Oregon State loss.
I'll tell you, in this conference, you've got Todd Graham, head coach of Rice. Rice hadn't been to a bowl game since 1961.
Yeah, Rice tied with Arkansas for the best turnaround in college football this year, +6 wins. There's another 1st down. Vincent Marshall out near midfield, gain of about 14. Falk on the tackle downfield.
That's when JFK was president, was the last time Rice went to a bowl, but now they've already accepted a bid to the New Orleans Bowl.
Rice started 0-4. Remember, they're dealing with the death of a freshman defensive back, Dale Lloyd. Happened during September. Rice bounced back, had a great year. They'll be in the New Orleans Bowl taking on a team from the Sun Belt. 1st down at the 48-yard line. Cobb, pass into the slot for McDaniel. Gets picked up and slammed down by Sumrall at the 49-yard line. Gain of maybe a yard in the play.
Well, one of the things Houston is doing is taking control of the tempo again. Controlling when the play begins off the line of scrimmage, controlling whether or not Southern Miss can get into their nickel package. They're not allowing them to do that by getting to the line of scrimmage and controlling the pace.
Cobb to the air on 2nd down. Fires to Harvey. 1st down, Houston. Harvey slips a tackle to the 35-yard line of Southern Miss. James Denley on the stop, but it's a 15-yard pickup. Another Houston 1st down.
Now, Rod, 10 guys huddled that time. And then Jerron Harvey was way down here. Then they broke the huddle. And what happened is Cobb saw that there was only 1 guy on Harvey. So he ran that stop route, knowing that the corner would respect the deep route, and it was just very simple. It was all pre-snap.
Yeah, they were playing zone, but even when you play zone, at some point you can be spread out so wide that you're actually playing man-to-man. You got a one-on-one situation.
Battle gets the call on first down, trying to pick a hole. Not much running room. Stacked up by James Denley. Gain of a couple.
Trevor, I think the one adjustment Houston's made that's really worked for them is they went back to some of the option. They hadn't shown it in the first half. They used it on the touchdown run, and now it allows them to set up some of their screen passes and some of their inside runs.
The option forces the defense to play a little bit differently. They can't overload any one part of the field. Everybody has got to stay home on assignment football when you're trying to defend a potential option play.
This is a rematch of a regular season game in which Southern Miss beat Houston. Southern Miss has won 8 of the last 9 meetings between these two schools. Snap to Kolb. Dumps it off to Ely. Inside the 20. Ely to the 10. Ely keeps his balance. Touchdown, Houston. Kevin Kolb, a perfect 6 of 6 on that drive. Hits Byron Ely for his 5th touchdown of the season.
Here's Ely. He sneaks all the way across.
Extra point is good. And it's a 10-point Houston lead. The transfer from Arizona. He's from Houston. He's a senior. Back in his hometown. Makes a big play in the Conference USA title game.
Ely comes in motion. And then when he goes across, he kind of sneaks under those linebackers, and they're like, whoa, there's a wide receiver here. But no linebacker can keep up with him as he goes across, and that's why he's able to turn up the far sideline for that touchdown.
Well, this offense is designed to get their quick and fast players in space. That's just a crossing route to give a guy with great speed a chance to run with the ball.
And now Kevin Kolb, a rushing touchdown and his first passing touchdown of the night, 26th of the year. Only 3 interceptions thrown by Kolb. He has the best touchdown to interception ratio in college football this year. Lefevre to kickoff. Another short kick taken by Morgan. Morgan past the 20 and to about the 28-yard line. So Houston will take a 10-point lead into the 4th quarter of the Conference USA Championship game presented by Aeropostale. The winner of this game goes to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl to play a team from the SEC. Championship weekend, the Conference USA Championship presented by Aeropostale on the line here tonight in Houston. It's the 2nd ever Conference USA title game. Houston last won Conference USA back in 1996. The winner of this game goes to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Speculation is that they'll likely play South Carolina on Friday, December 29th, 4:30 Eastern Time at ESPN. Conrad Chenot, who fumbled the last time he took a handoff, gets it on 1st and 10 and picks up about 4 for Southern Miss.
I like that call just for the confidence of Chenot. They're going to need him in this 4th quarter if they hope to come back. Chenot has to have confidence, and by getting that handoff after he fumbled the last time he carried, shows that confidence.
Young trying to dump it off to Chenot. That's a forward pass, incomplete. So it'll bring up 3rd down. Chenot does have 9 catches, so he's a decent receiver coming out of the backfield, but that was not a good throw that time by the quarterback Young.
You know, if you're thinking along with Houston with Fletcher out, you think who's the most dangerous receiver? You think Nelson, so you try to take him away, make it tougher on Young.
But so you can do that because you don't have to worry about Fletcher and all his speed creating a big play and a mismatch coming out of the backfield.
Young on 3rd down and 5 with time. Has Singleton, and he appears to have the first down for Southern Miss. Joe Singleton with only his 9th catch of the year. Trent Allen made the tackle. And we'll see where they spot it. And it is going to be a first down for Southern Miss.
Now take a look at all the attention that Nelson's getting. Look at the way they look him up. They got a couple guys looking at one short, one long. That's on a tight end. But what that does is it opens up the lane for somebody else. And this time it's Singleton.
Jeremy Young, back-to-back third down and 5+ makes a play at quarterback. Good throw to the air again on first down. Throws a dart to Piron, very close to the marker at the 30-yard line. How about this Jeremy Young kid?
I tell you, it's clear, Trevor, that the coaching staff is riding him, and they believe that he's got the goods going tonight. His arm looks fantastic tonight.
Yeah, and his demeanor, too, Roger. Look at his body language. He's very calm. He looks a lot like Troy Smith in that way, in that he's not freaked out. He's not succumbing to the pressure. He's thinking, and he's leading.
There's the same number. And we talked to Jeff Bauer this week, and he said, hey, the backup Stephen Reeves might play. Until last week, when Young played the whole game in a win over Marshall, they had been splitting time at quarterback. But Young has been outstanding here in this Conference USA Championship. With a berth in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl on the line. Chenove on first down. Nose dives to about the 26 for 4 yards. Tackled by Kirkpatrick. With more on junior quarterback Jeremy Young, we bring Dave Ryan in.
Well, David, has been a real up and down year for Jeremy Young after back-to-back losses to East Carolina and Virginia Tech earlier this season. Jeff Bowers, head coach, not pleased with Jeremy's performance. He said Young made some poor decisions. He challenged Jeremy to improve or lose playing time to the backup Stephen Reeves. Young said, hey, I'm my own worst critic. He focused. He got a lot better. Playing great here tonight, Dave.
Let's see what he does here on second down and 6. Play action. Young surveying the field, and it's another completion. First down to the 16-yard line to Morgan. Tackled by Gaston. But it's a first down. Forward progress all the way to the 16, even though Gaston had him repped up at about the 22.
Gotta like the way he did his reads on that play. He came off his first receiver and went to his second receiver.
The first receiver was Nelson, and that time he did have single coverage, but it was tight enough that he didn't go. Now this time there's only one guy on Nelson, but it was tight enough coverage that Young went for the safer play and still picked up the yards he needed.
So important for Southern Miss to get points on this drive, whether it's 3 or 7. It's a 2-possession game, 11 minutes to go. First down at the 16-yard line. Young waiting and finds Carter. And he's going to lose yardage. Couple yards lost there. Rodney Rideau made the tackle. That's the first catch of the day for Damion Carter. And he's banged up. We've seen 3 key guys on offense for Southern Miss get dinged up here in the second half. First it was true freshman tailback Damion Fletcher. Then it was Josh Barnes, and now Damion Carter a little banged up.
It's a physical Houston defense led by Gully. Number 18, they like to deliver blows. And he's the leader on that.
Second and 22 at the 28-yard line of Houston. They're going to keep it on the ground. Chenove to the 20. Just gets drilled right there, but he gets 8 yards. Will Gully with another huge hit from his free safety spot.
You see Gully don't take a look and say, who was that 35? Gully came up to lay one of his signature hits on a running back. Gully was unimpeded to that hit, but Chenove gave as good as he got.
Chenove is a little bit bigger than Fletcher. He goes at about 200 pounds. Fletcher's only about 170, 175. Chenove packs a little bit more of a wallet.
Again, important for Southern Miss to come out of this drive with points. Down 10, third down and 14 at the 20-yard line.
If you're Young, you don't want to turn the ball over. Keep the option of points here.
Young going to dump it off to Chenove. He's not going to get the first down, but does pick up about 7 to the 13. Ernest Miller on the tackle, and that is well within the range of Darren McCaleb, who made a 50-yarder earlier this season. He's the all-time leading scorer for Southern Miss.
And that was smart quarterbacking. Very smart quarterbacking. Don't force it to try to pick up the 14. Give yourself the chance to make it a one-possession game.
Made a 30-yarder earlier. This will be a 31-yard try for McCaleb. And he nails it. So Southern Miss converts on 2 third down and long plays. Ends up with 3 points to make it a one-possession game again. 7-point game with 8 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in the Conference USA Championship presented by Aero Postal. Great stop by Southern Miss. After the fumble by Chenov, they force Houston into a 3-and-out, get the ball back, go down and score. And it wasn't because of true freshman Damion Fletcher, who's been outstanding this year. He's hurt on the sideline. Conrad Chenov, a walk-on, has been a key guy on 2 scoring drives for Southern Miss tonight.
He's made some key blocks on blitz pickup, a couple of key catches to move the chains and to take it down into field goal range. Well, this guy's having the game of his life. He's a javelin thrower.
He's essentially the 6th string running back. As that kick is going to be taken by Marshall at the 10. Past the 20. Marshall up to the 30. Still on his feet. And finally pushed out a play past the 40-yard line. Cobb out of the shotgun on first down. Going to hand off for Aldridge. He gets around the defensive end. And Aldridge showing his great speed. Got around 2 guys that time. Picked up about 5 yards. But he's banged up. And he hobbles to the sideline.
So fast, they call him Quick 6.
It's like that's what happens when you get a cramp. Let's hope that's all it is. He's their big play guy out of the backfield. Jackie Battle, a very good back, but a big back. Aldridge is the guy that can break it off at any time.
2nd down and 4. Cobb backing off to get the audible from head coach and offensive coordinator Art Briles on the Houston sideline. Battle just muscles his way through the defensive line for Southern Miss, very close to the first down. Henderson and Merrill are right there for the Golden Eagles, but Jackie Battle just drove right through him.
There's Aldridge coming back, and that did look like a leg cramp. And the offensive game plan is going according to plan. I mean, Briles wanted to throw the ball and get out ahead. Now he wants to run the ball in the 4th quarter and finish the game.
Southern Miss had to burn a timeout, remember, early in the 3rd quarter, so they only have 2 timeouts remaining. They cannot afford to give up any more points. First down for Houston on the Southern Miss side of the field. Battle again. McGrath wraps him up at the 44, but that's about a 4 or 5 yard pop.
Well, this is Houston's time of game. They brought in a new strength coach this season, Larry Jackson from Oklahoma's staff, and he has made a big difference in the 4th quarter performance of this team because of how intense he has been in conditioning. The team itself was surprised. The players couldn't believe that in the 4th quarter of games this year, they got stronger while opponents faded. Now they're used to it. Houston believes this is their time.
We mentioned they trailed in 7 of their 9 wins this year. They trailed at halftime here today, but they now lead by 7. Pass to Ely inside the 40-yard line. They're close to the first down. Appears to have it in the 36. Abanaconda wrestled him on a play.
And that is essentially a running play. It's a long handoff, a sweep, if you will. Keeps the clock running, picks up a first down.
Well, this is the stop for Southern Miss's defense. As we're down to 5:43 now, they cannot afford to let Houston score points here or to run it down too far because Southern Miss's offense is not designed for quick strikes.
And again, they already had to use one of those timeouts. As we mentioned, have 2 remaining. Again, it started with UTEP where they were down at halftime and just came out in the second half roaring, scoring 24 more than the Miners to win that game, and then they've won every game since. 5 straight wins heading into tonight. Aldridge back into the game, gets the carry to about the 32 for 4 yards. You know, you look, guys, at what Art Briles has been able to do with his program. Back in 2001, this was an 0-11 football team. He's in his 4th year. Got him going to bowl games, back-to-back seasons. First time that's happening. Some 25 years at Houston. And this year, their most wins since the 1990 team that went 10-1.
How about the class of seniors that came in after that 0-11 season? There are only 6 of them around now, and they're on the verge of getting to the Liberty Bowl.
That's where the winner of this game will go. The loser to go to the GMAC Bowl to play Ohio. A lot of people speculating South Carolina will represent the SEC in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Cobb going deep for Ely, and it's caught. Touchdown, Houston! second straight receiving touchdown for Byron Ely, and he may have just won the conference championship for Houston.
How about that throw by Kevin Kolb? He looked outside, saw the one-on-one coverage, and he put the ball up to the corner to give his receiver Ely a chance to make a play, and he did.
Extra point is good. 14-point Houston lead. 4:25 remaining in the Conference USA title game in Houston. Heisman Trophy winner and ESPN's own Andre Ware attended the University of Houston. Boy, was he fun to watch in college, the 1989 Heisman Trophy winner.
And you know, I guess when you win one of those, you get a nickname. Around here, he's just known as Trophy.
21-3, his alma mater outscoring Southern Miss here in the second half. Kevin Kolb, but you got Klingler and Ware with big numbers. Kolb has big numbers. He's got a 9-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio this season. 2 TD passes tonight, 27 in the year. Only 3 picks all season. Had an incredible senior season. Going to turn himself into a likely first-day NFL draft pick. Ed Morgan on the kick return. Still keeps the feet alive and at the 21-yard line. And at this point, down 2 touchdowns. They have to go to the air. Fletcher does have 15 receptions on the season, but unavailable. And my, did Young get squashed by Philip Hunt. That's 7 sacks now for Hunt this season.
He comes from the left side. He just beats his man, and boy, that's just a tomahawk hit on Young.
Loss of 6. Remember, Southern Miss with 2 timeouts had to burn 1 early in the 3rd quarter. And Young just throws it away. So 3rd down and 16 coming up.
And you saw Fletcher on the sideline, and you heard Dave Ryan say Fletcher's not going to come back. And that really has hurt the Southern Miss offense. It really restricted what they could do and put a lot more pressure on Young.
Well, it also changed what the Houston defense could do. On that last huge hit on Young, the defensive end cheated. He came inside, intentionally losing contain because he knew they didn't have a threat in the backfield for a big play.
Houston trying to make it 6 straight wins in its first Conference USA championship since 1996. And the pass nearly intercepted. That would have likely sealed it. Quinta Williams could not pull it to the chest. And it'll be 4th and 16.
You know how he feels.
You're saying you did that?
Oh, many a defensive back, yours truly included, dropped the ball thrown right between the numbers. If we could catch him, we'd be playing receiver.
Southern Miss going to go for it on 4th down and 16. Really no choice here. Down 2 scores. 3.5 to go. Got to get to the 33-yard line. Young. His pass is going to be well short of the 1st down marker, and Houston's going to take over at the 27-yard line. Caught by Chris Johnson, but about 5 yards shy of the 1st down. Houston takes over on downs. And the Cougars on their way to their first conference title in 10 years and a trip to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. We are 3:24 away from crowning the Houston Cougars as the 2006 Conference USA champions. If the Cougars hang on to win, they will go to the Liberty Bowl, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl on December 29th. Been talk about South Carolina, possibly Kentucky representing SEC in that game against what appears now to be Houston. Southern Miss would go to the GMAC Bowl to play Ohio, which lost the MAC championship game to Central Michigan last night over on ESPN. Houston ball at the 27-yard line. They keep it on the ground with Battle. Southern Miss has only 2 timeouts remaining. And Kevin Kolb, who went to the high school where Art Briles once coached, a 4-year starter for Houston. Kolb keeping down to the 23, and Southern Miss will likely burn its final timeout. Caleb Hendricks on the tackle. Aldridge on 3rd down and 7. So it'll be 4th down. Southern Miss is out of timeouts. We'll see if Houston just goes for it, just runs the ball here on 4th down. Now Jeff Bauer's done a great job at Southern Miss in 16 years, 13 consecutive winning seasons. Only 4 schools in the country have done that. Florida, Michigan, Virginia Tech, Florida State, 12 straight winning seasons, and they're at 500 right now. Going into their bowl game with UCLA.
He's been at Southern Miss since 1972. He transferred in as a quarterback from Georgia and hasn't left.
So Houston is going to go for it on 4th down and 4. We'll see if they just run it or attempt to get the 1st down. Cobb's just going to take a knee, so Southern Miss will take over. Cobb didn't see any running room, so he just hit the turf, and it'll be Southern Miss football.
Well, nice job by Briles. No need to add a touchdown there or a field goal, and he does the classy thing and just has his team run out their downs and let Southern Miss get the ball back. That's a classy move.
Well, he's always been classy since he's been here. I mean, taking over with a 0-11 season in the recent past, he had to first change the way everybody thought and change their attitude, and that he did by making football fun here again.
Young back to throw again, finds Singleton, and he can't hang on to it. Incomplete is the ruling on the field.
There are a lot of fine coaches in this conference, and I think Briles has cemented himself as among the top with his championship. But I think it's interesting how he brought fun back. I mean, Briles makes sure, as we look at Vincent Marshall and his numbers, he's had a big game and a big career here. Voted MVP of this game by the attending media. And we see the opposite feeling on the other side. Southern Miss expects to win championships, and they're not satisfied with not winning.
But they have won 4 Conference USA championships in 10 previous seasons that this league has been in existence. And here's Young taking off.
Number 10.
To the 41-yard line against Southern Miss without a timeout. Cannot stop the clock. 3rd down coming up. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl will be hosting Houston against the team from the SEC on December 29th. Here's Young on 3rd down and 4. Going deep for Nelson, incomplete. 4th down coming up.
You had the sense that Nelson and all were looking for Gully over the middle as you see the bell being rung there. I think Gully's had a great night.
I wonder if Gully's sore. I mean, if you hit somebody that hard, you're getting hit too.
The offensive lineman surrounding the Gatorade. Let's use this one. This one's colder. Let's dump it on Briles here. This has more ice in it.
You think by now the coaches know this is coming. I mean, you get this close, you got to know. You start looking around you.
4th down and 4. Young going deep, incomplete. Houston will take over. They've got the Gatorade.
Yeah, they're going to get him now.
Here it comes. He doesn't care. Congratulations to Art Briles and the Houston Cougars. Their first Conference USA title since 1996. They're going to win the 2nd annual Conference USA championship game.
Well, and a nice job at halftime because his team could have gone in the tank after they didn't get points down on the goal line and were behind. And he convinced them at halftime to play through it and not let it hold them back. And that's exactly what they did in the 2nd half.
Well, and as they have done so often this season, they won the 2nd half. They won the 4th quarter.
Clock running in the change of possession. Cobb will take a snap and a knee. Great year by Southern Miss. They finish at 8-5. Houston improves to 10-3, matching that magical year of 1990 when they won 10 games that year. And Kevin Kolb goes out on top. His final game at Robertson Stadium, he hoists the Conference USA trophy as the Cougars defeat Southern Miss 34-20. The Houston Cougars win the Conference USA Championship and head to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl to play a team from the SEC. Houston now with 10 wins. They have trailed in 8 of those 10 victories this year, including tonight at halftime. Congratulations to the Houston Cougars. Vincent Marshall, the MVP, but a great night for Kevin Kolb as well. 2 touchdown passes and a 46-yard touchdown run. His final game here at Robertson Stadium, but not his final game as a collegiate. He'll play in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl against a team from the SEC. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Along with Rod Gilmore, Trevor Manich, and Dave Ryan, I'm Dave Pash. Quite frankly, with Stephen A. Smith coming up next. Good night from Houston.